If you have a uni project in Java, or you're a uni student who want to learn Java by making a game, or you're someone who just wants to see how variables, methods, classes and objects link together, you have found the right video. Hi there, I'm Ewan from Learn Coding from Scratch, and this is part 1 of my Space Invader series in Java. I've been making games since high school. Started off in Java Eclipse, worked briefly with HTML, CSS and JavaScript to make arcade games, and currently working in Unity C# for various different projects. In this series, I'll be going over data types, variables, functions or methods, classes and objects, inheritance and polymorphism, threads, graphics, event handling and different layouts using JPanels and JFrames, audio and collision detection in Java. We will see how the things you learn in first year uni that may seem to be quite pointless at the time fit together nicely to make a simple variant of the classic Space Invader game. Alright, the way we're going to structure the project is we're going to have a quick 30-second discussion about the video and then we're going to jump right into coding, okay? So the first video would be about creating 3 classes. Now before that, I just want to quickly remind you guys all the assets used in this game would be available in the project in the description. So just click on the link and you would find all the assets available. Okay, so this video would have 3 classes creating. Okay, we'll be creating 3 classes. They would primarily be the intro screen, okay, and the things we want or need to run the intro screen. Okay, so one of the other 2 would be a GameManager class and an executable class. So the GameManager class would be responsible for all the data fields that we want to use, for example, like height and width of the scene, and it would populate the scene class later. But for today, GameManager class would be really simple. Executable class would just be in charge of actually creating or running the game. And the main thing would be the intro screen class, okay, and that would have all the methods to run the audio and also the painting the level of the intro background. So we're going to be learning how to use variables, methods. We're going to be learning about access modifiers. Basically, we're going to also use static fields, okay, and then we're going to learn how we can use JPanels and JFrames, okay. So with all that, let's get started. All right, so let's get started. So this is my this is a brand new space directory for my Eclipse directory, okay, for this project. If you guys have a working directory, by all means use that. I'm just going to use this so it's easier for you guys to follow along. So what you want to do is just go ahead, either go from file, create then new, create a Java project, or if there's just a new directory, you can just press create Java project. I'm going to name this space Invader tutorial, leave all of these to default settings, okay, and then press finish. I know the latest I say because I haven't been working in Eclipse for quite some time. Yeah, they do ask this module thingy. I just don't press don't create. I haven't really used modules because I'm not going to export it anyways. So yeah, that'll give you the folder essentially created, okay, and this source. Yeah, this is where you want to get started, okay. So everything that you do, that needs to go inside the source. All right. As you guys know, we are going to be working on 3 different classes today, okay. One of them would be the executable, that is the exe file. So I'm going to go ahead and create that first. So right click on the SRC and just hover over new and then select class. Now it's a good idea to create packages if you want to group things together, but I'm going to do everything under one package here, so I'm just going to use the default package. Okay, so press class, okay, and I'm going to name this one exe, as in executable, okay. This one I'll just press public static void main, okay. This is to ensure that this is the function that gets run, okay. So I'm going to press public static void main. Well, when I say this is the function that gets run, I mean this is the function that determines the order and everything, okay. Right, press finish and that will create your exe file, exe.java under the default package, okay. And again, you can see it has the public static void main created. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to get rid of this green comment because I don't really need that. Now, just to make sure that we're up and running, we'll just do a quick print line. Okay, if you're just starting out with Java, you guys, pretty sure you guys have used the print statement. Okay, so system.out print line, I'm gonna say, yay, we are off. Okay, so once that's done, just press the green button. Okay, here it'll ask you if you want to save it. Just press this option that says always save resources before launching, and then press OK. Once you do that, this is really important, the console. Okay, that should print the text. Now, knowing where your console is or knowing what to expect is quite an important part of it, like especially for part of a big project like this, because we're going to be looking at consoles quite a lot. Hopefully not for long, because I won't run into errors, but if I do, I'm planning on debugging it on camera, so it helps you guys debug as well. Right, so that is the executable file. We are off and running. Okay, so we don't necessarily need this right now, but I'm just going to keep it on, because just so we know how we have something when we start running our game. Now, the first thing I want to do is create the game manager. Okay, the game manager class. Now, remember, the game manager class would have a lot of information, like a lot of information. Okay, however, for now, all we want to do is just to make sure. All we want to do essentially now is to have the height and width of the scene determined. Okay, so I'm going to click on the default package. So right click, press new, and then press press class, and I'm going to call this one game manager. We don't want to do public static void main here. Okay, this is a class that we can be using to store items. Well, items as an information. Okay, so we don't necessarily want to have this one running. So I'm going to press finish, and I'll create our game manager script or class for us. Okay, now as I said, this class would have a lot of information going forward. For now, it's not going to have much. Okay, all we need to do is, well, let me see how clear you guys can see this. How do I zoom in? It's quite easy to zoom in. Oh, there you go. It's quite easy to zoom in Visual Studio. As I said, I haven't really been using. The last time I used Eclipse was, I think it was in my first year. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, all we want to do right now is essentially to have the width and height determined. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable. Okay, a variable is something that you use to store values. Okay, now I want to have the information for the scene's height and width stored here, so it is consistent no matter how many gameplay levels I do. So the example gameplay or the sample game that I showed you guys had just one gameplay level, but yeah, I'm just gonna have it here. So public, meaning I can access it from anywhere. Okay, then I'm gonna make it final, public final static. Static, what it would do is it'll enable us to quite easily, so from any of the file, let's say go back to exe file. Okay, don't type this code, we don't really need to. So from here, if I wanted to, I can just do game manager dot let's say I had a field called, a variable called height. Okay, I could have just done this. Okay, so that's why we want to do the static part. I'll explain more about statics as we go along, but for the first lesson, I think that's good enough. Okay, one of the explanation of static would be just this is never gonna there's only ever going to be one instance of this variable. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense right now. Okay, I'm gonna call it screen width. Now I'm gonna go with the dimension that I have for my image. Okay, so I'm gonna go 100 units and semicolon, and do another public final static screen height. Okay, equals to 70 units. Now this is for my laptop. Okay, this is for my laptop and the images that I'm using. Okay, if you guys want, like this can be totally different. Oh, I forgot to add the int. By the way, after static, add an int. So that is a data type. So this value, I'm going with integer values. I don't really see the point of going with decimal points here, so I'm just gonna make them int. But yeah, they were saying this 1700 can be anything of your choice. Okay, so I don't think I need to write comments for else I'll do. So dimensions for gameplay levels. This also allows us to do mathematics on different sort of characters. We can just do screen width divided by 2 if you want to have something in the middle, or yeah, something like that. Okay, so that's about it really for the GameManager for now. Okay, if I want to, you can go back to exe file. Okay, and if I get rid of this EA off, I can do GameManager dot. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I did save. Okay, so Control S, so you don't have the X there. Sorry, let's X the star there. Okay, so GameManager dot. If I do screen height, okay, which is 700. Okay, if I run this. Okay, so even if I'm on GameManager, the moment I run, it would run the class that has the public static void main. Okay, so this is like the head. Okay, this is like the head of the class project. You can see how the height is 700. Okay, so this is why I made them static, so I don't have to. Well, a couple of reasons really, because I don't want this to be. I don't want any of the instances of it. Okay, so yeah, so screen width, screen height there, nicely saved, and it's ready for us to use. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create the intro class. Okay, now this is going to be the trickiest of today's classes. Okay, so we have got the executable class that helps us run the game. We have the game manager that will store values like these and like also have some functions that we're going to be using later. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create the intro level. Okay, the intro level where the image pops up and goes away after a while. Okay, so you right click on default, press new, select class. I'm gonna call this one intro. Okay, and press finish. Okay, now so far if you go back to exe and game manager, all we had there is just public class, that is the structure of the class in Java and the name of the class, and then either we had a method or we had fields, okay, or variables or data types like this. Okay, public data fields like this. Okay, now for the intro, what I need to do is I actually need to do some import statement because I want to do the sound. I don't know if you guys heard the sound in my demo. I might have turned off my desktop audio, but the intro does play sound. Okay, so I'm going to need to have some import statements so I can use Java's Java's built-in import sound system, not sound system, the sound codes. Okay, sound libraries. So it is, so go at the very top before public class. Okay, so before the start of public class, go import Java X. Okay, dot sound. Okay, sound dot sampled dot audio system. Okay, I hope I have access to that. Sometimes if like, I know some of the versions they do mock up like that, like muck around, they don't give you access directly. I don't know how to fix that, to be honest. Never really had to deal with that firsthand, seen friends kind of struggle with that. Anyway, so import, also we would be reading the sound as an audio file. Okay, so we're gonna go import java.io.file. Okay, so these are two import statements for basically for the sound. Now we're also going to be creating a window. Okay, now every time we create a window, we need to import Java X. Okay, dot swing. The swing class has the JFrame and everything. It allows you to create panels, create windows. Okay, so just do swing dot star and semicolon. And last, we're going to use the graphics to paint. So we're going to go Java X dot awt dot star. Right, that's sorry, it's not Java X, that's Java dot awt. I was like, why isn't it coming up? Okay, dot star. So dot star means you're importing everything from this AWT package. Okay, so AWT and swing would be used to display windows and paint items, and file and audio system would be used to essentially play sound. Okay, now public class intro, I want this to turn into a sort of a canvas. Okay, this class, like the exe file allows us to run the game, the game manager, well, yeah, it kind of allows us to run the game. For now the game is just printing the width, but the game manager class helps us to keep track of default values. The intro, I want this to be a canvas. Okay, so I can paint on it, and to do that I need to make it extend this Java's AWT, one of the classes from AWT, that is JPanel. I think it's AWT or Swing, I forgot actually. So when you extend it, you essentially turning this intro into a child of this JPanel, kind of like think about this as a canvas, okay? Okay, so when you do that, now this is kind of like a canvas. Now you want this canvas, this intro canvas, to fit into a window, the window that you see, okay, when the game starts. So we're going to create that. So on line 8, inside the curly braces, okay, we're going to create the window. The window is known as JFrame in Java. So you go Java, I'm going to name this variable window equals to new JFrame, round brackets and semicolon. This is how you essentially create an instance of anything in Java, okay? So this is the type, kind of like what I did in GameManager, int screen width. Okay, I could have just taken everything out like this, like these. They don't need to exist. All the computer needs to know is that it's a variable with a type int, and these are just additional information that we want. Here I'm just doing JFrame. Okay, so rather than doing int, I'm doing JFrame. This variable window would be a type of frame. Okay, and this is how you create it. You like allocate memory. Okay. Right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to create something called Constructor. Okay, Constructor would allow us to essentially, so right now this is kind of like a blueprint. Now when you do make a constructor, it allows you to like make the blueprint come to life. Okay, so I'm gonna go a couple of lines down. Now there's a structure or syntax we have to follow. The constructor has to match the name of the class. Okay, so it has to be like this: intro. Okay, intro, round brackets, go down, have the curly braces. Okay, so this is your constructor. This will create the class. If you are using this intro, maybe let's say from exe, okay, you have to, like, whenever you try to create this function would get called. Okay, this is there's a special name for this. This is called the constructor. Now I usually make my constructors public. I don't know why. Like, I've been doing this since first semester. If there's a technical reason behind it, do let me know in the comments if anyone's like really experienced. As I said, I do work with Unity now, so if I don't do public, I mean, I can literally not do public, but it's just gonna keep bugging me because ever since start of my uni life, I've been making them public. Wait, let me see how long I've been blabbing on about. I can't have the timer, can I? Never mind. Okay, sorry. We're gonna finish this anyways. Okay, so pardon me if this becomes too long, but yeah. So what we're gonna do is we are going to, as I said, we're gonna add this intro canvas into this window. This is a frame. Okay, so we're gonna go window dot add. Okay, round brackets and semicolon. Inside the round brackets, we're gonna go this. Okay. Now what this means, well, this is a keyword. Okay, you can see everything that is owned by Java in the text editor, only like belongs to Java. Reserved by Java. Okay, these keywords, they're all kind of red here. Okay, so this is a keyword as well, and this refers to the class we are in. Okay, so essentially this means the intro class. Okay, so we're adding the panel, okay, like the canvas, to the frame. We are going to do a couple of house cleaning things. Okay, so we're gonna go window dot set default close operation. Okay, this is just so we can, when we terminate this window, the operation from this window closes. Okay, it's just something we have to do. Okay, don't need to worry too much about it. So the parameter, where did my curly brace go? Okay, there it is. So the parameter here, why am I saying parameter? Oh my god, I can't fucking pronounce. Oops, I can't pronounce. I have totally forgotten how to pronounce parameter. Okay, this is just a crisis right now. Okay, I'm just gonna use the word argument. Okay, how can I forget? Okay, the argument here is JFrame. Okay, parameter or argument, they're essentially the same thing. Okay, interchangeable. So it's like the value you pass in here. The argument. This is too funny. The argument here is JFrame.exit on close. Essentially, as I said, it's just going to close the window when we exit out. I'm just gonna zoom out a bit because it's hurting my eyes. The parameter, okay, the parameter, there you go, nailed it. Right, now I'm gonna pack the window, window dot, actually, I'm kind of torn, should I use pack or should I use, preferred size? Okay, actually, no, yeah, we're gonna have to pack it. So we go window dot pack, okay, so this is going to pack this intro panel into the window. Okay, now before I do this, actually just go ahead of, like, just go one line ahead of like window.add, and let's just define the panel's size. Okay, we're gonna go with this. Remember, this refers to the intro, which is a panel or canvas. So this dot set preferred size. Okay, I'm gonna create a new dimension. So the parameter or the argument is a dimension. So we're gonna go new dimension, round brackets, and this is where the scene height and width would come into play. Okay, so this dimension works with two values. One is the scene's height, one is the scene's width. So when I go GameManager dot screen width, comma, GameManager dot screen height. Okay, so now we don't really have to go back and forth to see what is the preferred size of our image, or what's the screen's height and width. We can just use that. This is all good, actually. You can just use this. If you want to use full screen like myself, okay, you can add in this code, window dot set extended state. Okay, you can use this. I mean, they both work together. But if you're adding line 16, keep in mind it's going to be full screen. Okay, and I think like you guys need to. I mean, it helps if you guys know how to not maximized. Yeah, both, maximize both. Whoops. So this is gonna this, if you use this line of code, it's just gonna maximize. Doesn't make sense. Like it'll give you full screen value. Okay. Now the thing is, all these housekeeping stuff wouldn't make sense, or like wouldn't be visible until you do window.set visible. Okay, and set it to true. Okay, this is going to what do you call it, like create the, like, this is going to make sure that you can actually see your what do you call it, the window. Okay, now that's all good. Like when we create, let's say if I go to my exe, I can create the intro class, and this constructor would get called, and the moment it gets called, it'll set a size for the canvas. The canvas would be then added to the window, then the panel would get like all these default, not default, like housekeeping stuff. That's all good, but we want to paint an image. Okay, and whenever we want to paint an image, we need to use this AWT thingy. Okay, so we're done with the constructor. Okay, for now at least. I'm gonna go down a couple of lines. Make sure you are inside the curly brace, okay, of the panel. Okay, now I'm gonna create, well, not create, override. Okay, so we're gonna use polymorphism here. Okay, so what happens is Java's graphics thing library, it has a paint function, so you can go public void paint. Like the name has to match. Okay, it has to, because we are overriding Java's default graphics paint method. Okay, so it has to match, like the name has to match, and the parameter has to be graphics, and then like give it any name. Okay, so graphics space G, so it's like int screen height or JFrame window. Okay, it's exactly the same. So graphics G, and this structure, this statement has to match. Okay, we're gonna go down and then curly braces, opening curly brace and closing curly brace. Okay, so now you can see there's a tiny green tick here. Well, let me just zoom in. Oops, how do I zoom in? Can't zoom in. Wait. Yeah, okay, can zoom in now, I think, hopefully. Okay, there you go. Cool. So, all that struggle for my, why do I have this here? Okay, this green tick here, not tick like an arrow, triangle, allows you to know that, okay, this is being, you're using Java's, Java swing component jcomponent.paint. Okay, so we actually overriding it, and that is something we need to do. For that, well, because if you don't, you won't get the desired result. Okay, like you are not overriding. Like if you just do paint or something like that, this is just you are defining your own method. Okay, you can see the green triangle going away. So we're going to use the Java's graphics classes. I think one of the function is called draw image. I think so. If you go g.draw image, okay, you can use it. And holy chock-a-moly, I didn't want to use all of this. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna get rid of all of them anyways. So the way we're gonna paint is, as you can see, the first one is the image. Okay, so it's image, but in a weird way. So we need to create an image icon and get the image from there. Okay, so we're gonna go new image icon. Okay, why did I image new image icon, round brackets. Okay, inside the round brackets we have a quotation. Now inside the quotation we're gonna have the name of the what do you call it, the image path. Okay, so just leave it empty. Actually, don't put the quotation. I'm gonna create a variable so it's easy for us. So I'm gonna do private, and this is also private. I don't know why I didn't write that. It's private by default. Anyways, private string. That's how you do it in C#. Java has a capital. Okay, private string image path. Okay, equals to that. Can I do that? Okay, I can. Great. As I said, you'd see me trying to use C# code in Java. Actually, they're quite similar as well. Okay, it's not a big deal. So, image path equals to quote, double quotes. That's where the image path would, like, the image name would be essentially. And inside the image icon, okay, image icons round bracket, just type in image path. Right now it's empty, so you won't have anything, to be honest. Doesn't matter. We're gonna get to that really soon. Now, just outside the round brackets of image icon, okay, just do dot and do get image. So this is going to get the image, and we're getting the image because that's how this silly draw image function works. I'm going to put a comma and go to line 2. Okay, now how do you paint? Now here's the thing, the coordinates, the next two values are x and y. You can do 0 and 0, that would be from the top left. Okay, if you do any values higher than 0, the x would be moving to the right. Any value higher for y, the y would be going down. Now the way I designed my image and the way it is written, you know how it said like the play game, let's play or something like that. I have to do -200, okay, because I didn't quite write where I needed to write. But keep in mind, you don't have to do -200 if you're using some other image. Okay, so this is for x value and this is for the y value. Okay, just keep that in mind. I have to do -200 because that's how that's how I drew my image, and I couldn't be bothered to redraw it. Okay, comma. I think the last value is an observer, I think, and we have none, so we're not passing any there. Okay, and that would allow you to essentially draw the image out. Okay, now speaking of drawing the image, let's go and find my image. So you guys would have it. Okay, so I've left a link, and that would have all the assets here. Now I'm gonna use where is that? I can't find it. Where is the menu? No, there you go, intro. See, this is what I've been meaning. Like this text here, it's just odd the way the placement of it was. So I had to do -200. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this because it needs to go inside the project directory. Okay, I probably won't be doing audio because it's already been, I think it's over 30 minutes already, I think. So let's do, so you're gonna go to the project name. Okay, so make sure you go to the project folder. Okay, kind of like this. Okay, so let me show you. So all of my projects here, like all of the items, they were just outside the source folder, okay, and inside the project name, which is project games for me. Now, for the second one that I'm doing right now, it's called Space Invader Tutorial. Okay, so it's just outside the source folder. Okay, just leave it, right click and paste. It's of JPG. I have seen a lot of complaints on my video where like people couldn't run JPG. I am not quite sure why. I think it runs. I'm pretty sure it does. Okay, so if I can, Okay, well, did I copy it? Okay, I think, yeah, I'm finally back up. Right, so so I don't know how like a lot of people couldn't get the PNG or JPG working, but I think it works for me. Anyway, so we have the graphics function, like paint function done. So we can just go to the string image part and type up intro.jpg. Remember, that's JPG for me. If it's not, just you guys type PNG or whatever type you have, okay? Okay, I think I need to stop here because it's almost there. Maybe I want to do the thread. Okay, let's just test it out first. Okay, so we have, let's see, we have the intro created, the panel, yeah, everything is created. We're gonna use it's gonna override the, I think it should be fine. So I'm just gonna get rid of this system.print outline because I don't need that. Now we're gonna create an instance of this intro class. Let me just save it first. So I'm gonna go back to exe, because remember exe is the one that's gonna run the game. So right now the game is just intro. So intro, I'm just gonna name this one I equals to new intro, round brackets and semicolon. It's kind of like what we did for the Java frame, you know, JFrame window equals to new JFrame. In this instance, we just created intro, so we are just doing that intro I equals to new intro. And if you just press the green button, I probably need to still make it move -200. Okay, I think I'm gonna do more. Where's -200? Let's go with a ridiculous number, -800. I'm gonna see how that looks. Oh, okay. Just a bit of gap there. Right, probably would go -400. Right, so that is the window coming up, but it's not going to go away though. It's not going to go away. By the way, it's getting full screen because of the full screen code that I added. Okay, so if you guys don't want it, just get rid of the full screen code. Okay. Now I want to quickly add the thread so it dies essentially. Okay. And gives us a good segue to the next level. Now for that, we need to turn this panel into a thread as well, okay? We can't just say, hey, intro is a panel as well as, you know, something else. We can't do that. But there's another way. We can just implement a thread, okay? We can implement a thread called Runnable. So, okay, so after JPanel on line 7 on my screen, you can go implements, implements, implements Runnable. This is a Java's thread, quite a useful thread actually. And when you do this, why is it not showing me any errors? It should show me an error. Oh, there you go. It is showing me an error. So if you just hover over your class's name, it will tell you that, hey, I'm kind of angry because you're using Java's Runnable method and you're not adding the method. Okay, so you can either just hover over it and just press add unimplemented methods, and I'll just write it. Okay, write it for you. Say it says overriding. Why exactly are we using this? Well, we are using it so it essentially our game runs smoothly, and you know we don't have like we're gonna have a lot of objects, and if we don't use our threads properly, we're gonna run into like frozen games. Okay, we can't run everything on one thread. We're just gonna run into frozen. We'll run into frozen game. So inside the run method, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this thread sleep. Okay, so think about like if you have multiple cores, you just want this core to be sleeping while something else is working. Okay, for this project. So we're gonna go thread. Actually, we need to try catch. By the way, let's just use Eclipse to generate try catch. Okay, so we can go thread.sleep. Okay, and it's gonna be complaining. Why is it not complaining? We're gonna go maybe 5 seconds, actually 2 seconds, so 2000 milliseconds. Okay, so it's in milliseconds. There you go. Now it's complaining. So when it's complaining, just hover over and just just press surround with try catch. It will give you a bunch of nonsense, which is actually good. You know, whenever you're using thread, you need to use try catch. I will see why a little later. So right now, this thread is just going to sleep while everything else in our game works. Okay. Why exactly are we sleeping for two minutes? Okay, let's actually make it turn into a variable. Okay, so private int wait. Okay, so we're gonna go 2000. Now this 2000, so it's basically in milliseconds, I think. Yeah, so it's 2000 times, like, you get the point, it's just 2 seconds. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna type that in. what do you call it, wait. Okay, so wait period. Now once the wait period is done, I'm going to dispose this window. Okay, I'm going to go window dot dispose. It's essentially like closing the window. And as we have used the JFrame thingy, like JFrame.exit and close, this frame would close. Okay, and then here we will create the menu class, okay, which doesn't exist right now. So what I'm going to do for the time being, I'm just going to do JOption pane. I think it's called JOption pane. Yeah, it's show message. This is just a placeholder. Okay, you don't need to do this. Show message. I have no idea what this is. Haven't used JOption pane in ever. Okay, I'm just going to leave it to null because there's no parent component. I'm going to say menu will be here next video. Okay, hope this works. Haven't used this one in ages. Okay, let's run, and we're gonna have 1, 2, die. Oh wait, I needed to run this in a thread. My bad, whoopsies. So yeah, we need to run this as a thread because otherwise they are just gonna be sleeping. Right, wait, why did that bring? Okay, there you go. So we're gonna need to create this as a thread. Okay, we just can't. So you can see if I just use one thread, it's just going to sleep and sleep and sleep because we have to like essentially stop the thread. Okay, so we need to create a thread, right? And that's the whole point of us using that thread. So we're gonna go thread. Let's go game thread equals to a new thread. Okay, so we're essentially using a new thread, and we can create as many threads as we want as we go. Okay, so our game runs smoothly and happily ever after. And we're going to create this I inside this new thread. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go new intro. Okay, it's essentially this. Okay, new intro. We're not storing this. We don't really need to store this right now. Okay, so now the game thread has the intro thread. Remember, intro is also implementing the thread, so it is a thread. And we're just going to run the game thread now. Okay, so game thread.run, not resume, run. Okay, so I press launch, and we're going to have 1, and we're going to have 2, and menu will be here next video. So we're going to press X. Okay, so obviously that's just a placeholder. We're not going to have that in the next video, but for now we can just see how the concept would work, like in the next video when we do sounds, hopefully. And wait, how long is it? This has been 35 minutes. Okay, now I think I should stop here. Yeah, so yeah, in the next video we're going to do sounds, and then we're going to move on to the menu, which would have a lot of containers and annoying stuff. But yeah, we'll get through that. Right, if you guys like this video, please do subscribe and give it a thumbs up. That would make me really, really happy. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.